All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Today is, February 13th, and it is 10 a.m. And we are going to do our live. Hello, Death by Diva. I see you there in the chat. So we left off on chapter 8 of the story that I've been working on for the past few weeks. And in chapter 8, I'm going to go over what we got as the results. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Bear with me while I get it going. Okay, here we go. All right, so you should see my screen there. While that loads, I'm going to take a quick drink. All right. If anyone has any questions, comments, or whatever, I actually thank you, Death by Diva. I like this lipstick. Feel free to type it in the chat. I'm watching the chat at all times. And let's see where I am. Okay, so let me show you the chapter 8 before we actually jump into that scene brief I started. So we actually got Max falling through the floor. Let me give you a little bit of precursor first. Sorry about that. My name is Michelle. I'm actually with the FFA. This is my Write With Me. I'm kind of going over the basics of writing with AI, creative writing with AI, showing how you would start it out from a beginner level. And just as you're progressing, you'll start to build your skills as you're actually writing your books, which I think is pretty powerful to be able to do it while you learn. All right, so the story itself, Max actually was trapped in a haunted house, or I'm sorry, a haunted store. He goes through this entire journey, and in part of the journey, they get to this magic dungeon. They fall through the floor, and he's just like free falling, and just not having a great time about it. So that's where we left off, and then scene 8 actually picked up from there. And I went over scene 8 a little bit last time. I was just going to scroll down to the bottom, and then the very last thing that happens in scene 8 is they run into this figure called the Caretaker, who actually is Malefico in disguise. So they fight him. They actually manage to defeat him by slamming a book down and shattering the ancient bindings on it, which defeats him. So now we're going to pick up scene 9 where that left off. Malefico is destroyed, and we're going to see like the ending of this story itself. So let me get my things set up. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. Okay, so what I have here, I'm going to load this because I put in the thing, but I did not load it first. So I want to make sure I have everything I need to write this chapter. All right. It takes a little bit of time to load the end slots for me because I just have a lot of stuff in there. I'm not even sure how many end slots I have at this point. I know I have quite a few. I go all the way down to 34, so that's why mine takes a little bit of time to load. All right, let's go up here and let's go into the prompter. And for our system prompt, I'm going to copy and paste the one I used last time. I have that in my logs because I always save those. Speaking of which, let me make sure I saved those today. No, I did not. Let's do that just in case. As I was saying, I always do that. All right, so there's my system prompt. My user prompt, I want it to read the end slots. So let's go back into the end slots. Please read. I'm going to do N1, which is the main characters. N2, which is the secondary characters or the supporting characters. And then, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put in N3 as well because Mr. Elias is going to be in this last scene when he arrives at the shop. We're going to put N4 because I wanted to understand the premise. Actually, no, we're not. We're just going to do the scene brief. We're going to take out N4 and we're going to just run it with the scene brief because I have a lot of information in the scene brief. So for the scene brief itself, I'm going here. I actually worked on this a little bit over the weekend. So we still have the same location. Let's see. I'm going to delete this part, though. For the details, I'm going to state that we're actually in this chamber room that they're in. Over here, so let's see. Okay, perfect. So we're going to come in in the chamber room. We'll put Malefico's chamber room / the caretaker. Magic chamber. We'll call it magic chamber. I don't know why I capitalized magic and chamber, but apparently I just really wanted to. Who's a cheater? Who's cheating, Death by Diva? Let's see, magic chamber. Okay, and then we're going to actually describe it. It's a dark chamber. Actually, no, we're not, because it's already described in the previous chapter, and it's going to kind of pick up on what's going on there. So we're going to leave it like that. And then Eerie Magical. We still want it to be Eerie Magical. Main character is still going to be Max. Secondary characters are still Madame Mesquia, Jackson, Ivy, and I added Mr. Elias here because he is going to show up at the end of this story to kind of wrap it up in a nice little bow. I'll just call it that. So the scene objectives is Max is able to help the objects, we'll put the toys, free for themselves from the curse. Each of the toys become inanimate as the spirit is free. Spirits. I'll put the spirits of Madame Mesquia, Jackson, and Ivy are freed. Okay. So that's one of the objectives. The next one is going to be Max finds his way back up to the shop. In time to see Mr. Elias entering through the front door. Okay. So then, I don't want you. There we go. Okay, so then Max tells Mr. Elias everything that occurred. And Mr. Elias is horrified and reveals that he trapped. Hey, Ingrid, how are you doing today? Good to see you. I cannot spell the word occurred today, apparently. He's horrified and reveals that he, we'll put he was the one whom, is it whom or whom? Whom trapped? Who trapped? That trapped. I don't remember if it's who or whom right now. It's very early. I haven't slept well, so we're putting that. He was the one that trapped the spirits in the toys to keep them from attempting to to take over the world. We'll put destroy mankind. To destroy mankind. They want to destroy mankind to become immortal and powerful, because you can't forget the power. What's the use of immortality if you're not going to be powerful? Then you're just going to be miserable. All right. Let's see. To give them attempt to trick. Okay. And then Max and I'll put Mr. Elias locks. He and Max into his office when Madame Mesquia appears in her true form. In the office, hiding in the shadows, was Jackson, waiting to catch them. Okay. So we're going to have that as our little plot points here. Put this down here. Okay. There we go. So we have those little things, just so it kind of knows kind of the direction I want it to go. And then the conflict is going to be up one over here. The conflict is going to be Max and Mr. Elias trying to escape the now freed dark sorcerers. Sorcerers, is it roars? Those ers. Okay, so that's the conflict. Narrative voice, we're keeping this third person limited for Max's perspective. Style preference is descriptive and dialogue heavy. Emotional tone is suspenseful, eerie. We're going to change eerie with suspenseful and dangerous. Specific requirements or constraints, 1,500 words. C9 should include, and I reiterated here at the bottom just in case. I always like to kind of just remind it what I want. Okay, so personal notes. Please write chapter 9 with Malefico now vanished and the curse being lifted from Ivy, Madame Mesquite, and Jackson. As they are freed, the spirits of the three rise from the objects they were trapped into, and the objects become inanimate once more. Max finds his way out and back into the shop just as Mr. Elias is opening the door and entering. He is shocked to see Max there and rushes to make sure Max is all right. Max tells Mr. Elias about Malefico and freeing the toys from the curse. And Mr. Elias is merely horrified. This is a long sentence. And Mr. Period. Mr. Elias, there you go, is merely horrified and tries to rush Max out of the shop. Before they can exit, the front door slams shut and locks. From behind them, Max hears the familiar voice of Ivy, though now Ivy is a tall, pale woman with long black hair that trails down to her waist. Oh, it's Ivy that shows up. I think I put Madame Mesquite. Yeah, when Ivy. Because Ivy is the actual mastermind of all this. She's actually the one in charge, not Madame Mesquite, even though it felt that way. So, let's see. From behind them, Max hears a familiar voice of Ivy. Then now Ivy is a tall, pale woman with long black hair that trails down to her waist. She's wearing a pentagram necklace with the tip pointing downward, and her fingers are adorned by many rings. Mr. Elias yanks Max into his office and locks he and the boy in, and tells the boy that Ivy was an evil sorceress that he captured and trapped inside a jewelry box in order to stop her and her friend from trying to destroy humankind. That is a really long sentence. And tells him the truth. Period. Ivy was an evil sorceress? Okay. As they speak, suddenly a dark figure steps from the shadows and Jackson reveals himself. Mr. Elias and Max shout as Jackson charges them, and then the scene fades out. So it kind of ended on a little cliffhanger of do they get away, what happens to them, and that sort of thing. Just because I like that kind of thing in the little young adult stories. It reminds me of like how Goosebumps would always end up like at the end. It wouldn't end up the way you expected. It wouldn't be wrapped in nice tight little bow. It would always be open-ended. And kind of leave it up to the imagination what happens. So I like that. I like doing that with these. Okay, so that is our scene 9 brief. So we're going to say, please read N1, which is main characters, N2, which is supporting characters, N3, which is my secondary supporting characters, because that's where Mr. Elias is. And then I want to go down and find the number for my scene 9 brief, which is this, which is labeled scene 8 brief for some reason. Scene 9. Scene 9. Okay, now because I did that, I have to go and refresh my Notion slots up at the top. All the way up. There we go. Load and refresh page. Alrighty, so we're going to wait for that to run for a second. It's retrieving the new information I put into the Notion slot since I accidentally used 8 for the scene brief instead of scene 9. Alright, and there we go. Take a quick drink of water. Alrighty. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so please read N1, N2, N3, and... No. Yeah, and then... Where is it? Okay, and then use N34 to write scene 9. We're going to see how that works. The wording is a little bit different than I normally use, but I wanted to kind of try it this way. Claude has not been friendly with me lately, so we're going to attempt to use Claude. But if Claude goes off the rails, we'll go back to ChatGPT. As lately, Claude and I have been having a lot of disagreements about what should be run and what should not be run. She's just 4096. Okay, and then have that. So we're going to process this with Anthropic Claude, and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully Claude plays nice today and is not a booger. Yes, he was a booger all day yesterday to me. This is not a copyright written story. This is my story that I just made up. So I don't see how it could be copywritten since I've not even finished the story yet. Yeah, okay, so apparently I cannot write my story because if I write my story, I'm going to be copywriting the person who's writing the story, which is me. So how's that for logic? Let's try it one more time. Let's see. You will be assisting me. I'm going to just add to the system prompt. You'll be assisting assisting me with the novel I am writing. Yeah. Let's see if this will get it to shut up about the copyright, because I'm not copywriting myself. I'm just trying to finish the story that I've been doing for the past few weeks. Really? No, bro. That's not what we're doing today. Okay, so we're going to jump over to freaking ChatGPT, because apparently Claude is going to be a butthead today. Alright, so let's change this. That's the good thing about this. If one of them's acting up, I could just come in here and change it and be like, yeah, I don't need you anyway. 4096, I'm going to drop this down to 0.8. I'm going to drop this down to 0.6 to see what I get. Excuse me. But yeah, when one's going to be a jerk, just try another one, or just come back later and try it again. Okay, the ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo 16K has no problem with this whatsoever. Claude is just being a booger, and today, not wanting to play nice. So we're going to let this run, and as we do, I'm actually going to come into... Actually, no, I think it's already done. Okay, it is done. It's only 509 words, so we're going to need a lot more than that, but let's go and see what it gave us so far. All right. So, the hidden tunnels were dark and winding. Really? Are we going to do this again? The walls are adorned with tapestries. We're going to do this again. I thought I got away from the tapestries last time, but I guess not. Okay, let's see. We're going to not use that part. So, and Mr. Elias is already... Yeah, no. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. No, 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 no. So Claude is not playing nicely, and ChatGPT just wants to rewrite a section of my story I do not need rewritten. Let's just put... Oh, you know what? Just start scene 9. From where scene 8 left off. Okay, let's try that and see if that helps it. Let's also go through this one more time, because I want to see if there's anything there that could have been causing that issue. Okay, so maybe Max tells Mr. Elias it should happen in this order, which is why I might have to change this format, because it should allow me to do that. Okay. Okay, we're going to try one more time with the start scene. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to kind of modify some things, because it does not want to play nicely. Okay, I'm going to update this. All right. We're going to put start the scene where scene 8 left off. Max, at the beginning of C9, Max is saying goodbye to his friends as the curse is broken and their spirits leave the toys they were trapped in. Okay. So, I mean, very descriptive of what I want. So hopefully it gives me it this time, and it's not going to be a little game that we have to play trying to get what we want from it with no more tapestries. Why is he in the magic shop? You're not in the magic shop. I'm just going to stop this because that's ridiculous. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to actually take this part out. If it's only going to write me a short amount of words, I'm just going to take this part out, and I'm going to add this in after. I wanted to write this part first, and then we could go back and have it change the scene. So let's do this. I'm going to actually copy this just off screen real quick so I have it. It's not liking the fact that I changed location, which makes no sense. I've had to do that before. Are you all able to see my screen while I'm doing this right now? I just want to make sure, because There we go. Okay. I had a glitch in my system and it wasn't showing my screen anymore, but now we're good. Okay. So we're good there. Now let's take out this part again. Just gonna take out this. And this goes in plot points. I'm just putting notes of where I'm grabbing stuff so I can add it in after. That's not what I was trying to do. I just wanted to delete this part right. Nope, stop, please. No. Okay, you're gonna have a huge gap then. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna keep it just as this, and we're just gonna have it write this part of it. I'm just making sure there's nothing else in here that needs to be taken out yet. I'm not even gonna show Mr. Elias in here yet because that has become problematic. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my end slots because I made changes. And we're going to wait for that to happen. And while we do, I'm going to come out here. I actually made a second copy of my scene brief. I always back it up just in case. So, okay, so I could just modify that one after. I just want to make sure I still have that there. All right, so there we go with that. So we're going to actually change this now because I don't want it to use N3 because we don't want it to know anything about Mr. Elias. So we're just going to say use N1 and N2. Okay, M1, N2, and then use M34 to write C9. Start the scene where scene 8 left off. At the beginning of the scene, Max saying goodbye to his friends as the curse is broken. Okay, so we're going to do that. To his friends in Malefico, if I can spell, magic chamber. Okay, we're going to do that. See if that helps it along. Come on, don't do me wrong, Turbo 16K. Okay, at least we're in the right location now. So, Max stood in the center of Malefico's magic chamber, surrounded by his newfound friends. The air crackled with anticipation as they prepared to break the curse that had bound them for so long. Madame Mesquia, Jackson, and Ivy looked at Max with a mixture of hope and gratitude, knowing that he held the key to their freedom. Thank you all for being with me on this journey, Max said, his voice filled with determination. We're going to take that part out. I don't like him always having determination in his voice. We faced countless challenges and discovered the truth about our past. Now it's time to break this curse and reclaim our lives. Madame Mesquia nodded, her porcelain face glowing with anticipation. Max, you possess a unique connection to the magical realm. Your imagination and belief in the impossible have brought us this far. We trust you to guide us through the final stage. Max took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility on his young shoulders. He closed his eyes and focused on the memories of their past adventures, the bond they had formed, and the strength they had gained from one another. As he opened his eyes, Max extended his hands towards his friends, their spirits still trapped within the toys. Together we will break this curse. Let the magic flow through us and set us free. A surge of energy filled the chamber, crackling with the combined power of Max and his friends. The room shimmered with a soft glow as the curse began to unravel. One by one, the spirits of Madame Mesquia, Jackson, and Ivy emerged from their toy forms, their true selves restored. Madame Mesquia's porcelain skin regained its warmth, her eyes sparkling with life. Jackson's Jack-in-the-Box form burst open, revealing his mischievous grin and vibrant attire. Ivy's shape-shifting costume transformed into a young girl with flowing hair, her eyes filled with wonder and joy. We're going to have to change. No, actually, that makes sense because Ivy doesn't want them to see her actual true form yet. So it makes sense she would still look innocent until her final reveal at the end. So that makes sense. Tears of joy streamed down Max's face as he witnessed the transformation. You're free, he whispered, his voice filled with awe. Madame Mesquia embraced Max, her porcelain arms wrapping around him. Thank you, dear Max. You have given us a second chance at life. Jackson, unable to contain his excitement, leapt in the air, his telekinetic powers propelling him. We did it. We're free. Ivy approached Max, her eyes shining with gratitude. You've shown us the power of friendship. This sounds like Care Bears. Or is it My Little Ponies? Something like that. You've shown us the power of friendship and the strength we possess within ourselves. Thank you, Max. Max smiled, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment. We couldn't have done it without each other. We're a team. Okay, as the group basked in the newfound freedom, a voice echoed through the chamber. Nope, we're going to get rid of this. Let's see. I'm going to actually jump into Notion, make it a little bit easier to look at. And then a little bit bigger if you all want to look at it. Okay, there we go. And let's see. So let's see where this takes us. If Malefico's reemerges and there's another fight, or what happens. Let's see. Next expression: hardened. Your reign ends here, Malefico. We won't let you continue to harm others. You may have broken the curse, but the power I possess is far greater than you can imagine. You cannot defeat me. We may be young, but we have something you lack. We have hope, faith. No. We're going to take this out. I guess let's see. I want to see if it could give us like a little battle between them. Let's see. Where is it here? I think I took out the part I wanted. Okay, yeah, they charged towards Malefico. They charged towards Malefico. And as Max and actually it was Jackson. And Jackson leapt at his face, gripping it to block his vision. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then I'm going to take this here. And I'm going to put this in a C9. And then we're going to ask it to continue. And we're going to see if it'll continue this little like young adult fight scene. I don't want it to get too graphic or anything like that because it is for a young adult story. So let's go in here. We're going to do a page, C9. C9. And I'm going to put this as the start of it. Okay. So there's that. And then we're going to come into my writing brief now. And we're going to modify the writing brief because I've made some changes to it. So now I'm in the wrong writing brief. Let me get into the right writing brief. Writing brief, rather. I have the original writing brief outside of this, so I could just make changes directly to here. Okay, so they're still in the magic chamber. It's still the same characters. Okay, plot point. Max. Madame Mesquia. Ivy, and oh my goodness, Jackson. Charge Malefico in an epic battle, and see if it picks up on that. That they eventually win is the scene objective. Okay, so third person limited, same thing. So please continue chapter 9 with, actually, I'm going to do this because that way I don't have to retype it all. With Ivy, Madame Mesquia, Max, and Jackson attacking Malefico. There we go. That's how you spell it. Attacking Malefico and I'm going to repeat an epic battle of strength, wits, and courage. The group finally defeats Malefico, who crumbles to dust. Okay, so we're going to do that. It does not like the spelling of these things. So we're going to put continue scene 9. And we're going to put I'm going to put 2,000 words. Because I can. And I'm going to come here and change this to 2,000 somewhere. Where was it? I thought I had a length in here. There we go. 2,000. We're going to change this to 2,000 words as well. All right, let's see how that goes. So that is my scene 9 brief. We come into here. We actually could change this to 4096. And then I'm going to come to my end slots and I'm going to refresh them again, maybe. There we go. Hey, where's my notion? Hey, why did it boot me out? Well, that's not fun. Okay, so that's weird. I'm going to have to, if it does it again, I'm going to have to reach out to Joseph, who is amazing, and we'll fix it in like 3 minutes. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean, Death by Diva, when you said both. So if you can elaborate on that, if you're able to, that would be amazing. And I'm just going to get all of this set up again. because it decided it wanted to be a butthead and kick me out. I believe I had this at 0.8, and this was at 0.6. This is at 4098. 4098, 496. We're going to do 4098 because that's what I typed. All right, now the unfortunate thing is because it did that, I have to come in here and refresh my, and to put my end slots in again. Let's see. Let's see here, Notion slots. Okay, so we're going to wait for that to load real quick because I need those in order to continue with what I'm doing. Thankfully, because we're using Rexy, it automatically saves our stuff, so everything that I was doing is already saved. I don't have to worry about that. Oh, okay. Death by Zevia said the both was that what it said. It sounded like Care Bears and My Little Pony. That's what it was. Okay. So it looks like the end slots are loaded again. All right. We're going to go back into prompter. And it ate my system prompt, so I need to put that in again. Where is my cursor? My cursor has gone away. There it is. Okay. So the system prompt was your writing assistant, who is an expert in every element of story writing. Okay. Now I'm going to say, please read. And then I'm going to come into here because I always forget what's where. That is not what I want. I want this one. Okay, so I want to read N1, obviously, because we want the main characters. N2, because it has secondary characters except for Mr. Elias, because it likes bringing Mr. Elias in at every chance it gets for some reason. All right, I'm going to also give it scene N35. So, and N35. Continue writing. Oh, wait, I also want to get my scene brief. N34. I'm going to do N35 first. Use, then continue writing N35 from where it last left off. Okay, I'm going to do that. And now we're going to click here and see what we get. Okay, so it did pick up exactly where we left off. Malefico let out a roar of frustration as Jackson clung to his face, disrupting his concentration. So it picked up right where we left off, which is exactly what I want, so that's good. We're going to let that run real quick, and I'm going to get a drink of water. Okay, so let's see. Max and Madame Mesquia seize the opportunity and combine their powers to create a powerful barrier around Malefico. When did Max get powers? This is new to me, and I'm writing the book. All right, I'm going to modify that. Creating a barrier around Malefico, trapping him in a cage of magic. Ivy, her eyes glowing with determination. Again, with the determination. Step forward. Malefico, your reign of darkness ends now. We will not let you harm anyone else. Excuse me. Malefico struggled against the magic barrier, his eyes burning with rage. You may have broken my curse, but you cannot contain me forever. I will find a way to regain my power in return. Max stood tall, his voice filled with conviction. We won't let you hurt anyone else. We'll protect the magic realm from your darkness. Okay, so Max is finally stepping up. Okay, so Max is stepping up and Ivy's stepping up. Let's go into Notion because it's easier for me to scan through it that way. Okay, so we're going to make our change first here. Seize the opportunity. So we're going to say Madame Mesquia seized the opportunity and combined her and created a powerful barrier around Malefico, trapping him in a cage of magic. Ivy, her eyes glowing with determination, stepped forward. Ivy, her eyes glowing, step forward. Malefico, your reign of darkness ends now. We will not let you harm anyone else. Malefico struggled against the magical barrier. Let's see. His eyes burned with rage. He's not very pleased. You may have broken my curse, but you cannot contain me forever. I will find a way to regain my power in return. Max stood tall, his voice filled with conviction. We won't let you hurt anyone else. We'll protect the magic realm from your darkness. With a final burst of energy, Max and his friends channeled their combined strength. Banishing Malefico from the magic chamber. Okay, I like that they all combined it. The room trembled as his presence faded, leaving behind only the echo of his malevolent laughter. As the dust settled, so I didn't mention him turning into dust, but that's okay. I kind of like him just kind of vanishing in this laughter being kind of permeating the room. So as the dust settled, Max and his friend embraced, their hearts filled with relief and triumph. They had not only broken the curse that bound them, but also defeated the powerful sorcerer who had tormented them for so long. Let's see, journey was not over. Nope, that's not what we're doing here. So we're going to remove all of this because this is a lot of wrap up that I don't want right now. Okay. After the dust settled, Max's friends embraced, their hearts filled with relief and triumph. Max fell forward as the toys dropped to the ground, unmoving. And as Max reached out for Jackson, a light blue, we're going to say, I don't want to say a mist, like a light blue energy rose from it. And Max could hear Jackson's excited voice echo through the hall, through the chamber. We did it. We're free. Jackson's. All right, we already know it's Jackson. We did it. We're free. Max grinned, and despite his happiness, a tear slipped down his cheek at the thought of never seeing his friends again. Okay, so we're going to put it right there, and then we're going to jump back in here, and we're going to let it do some more writing. Normally, I would just finish it up and write it myself, but since I'm using AI for this, we will do that. So I have this in here. I'm going to grab all this and add it to what I already have for my scene 9. So let's go down to scene 9. And here we go. Okay, so we have that right there. I'm curious how many words I just know right now. 800. Okay. So we have that. I'm going to close that because we don't need it right now. I'm going to come and refresh my Notion slots again. All the way up at the top. Okay, I'm going to load this. And we're going to wait for that to run. And while we are doing that, I'm going to jump into the scene brief. I'm actually going to duplicate it. So this is scene brief. I'm going to put battle. I don't normally like splitting it all up like this, like I am, but for some reason, ChatGPT and Claude were just not wanting to cooperate, so I'm having to break it up right now. Just so that way I can get the results I want. So let's see. I'm going to grab this here, and I'm going to copy this and paste it over into my new one. I'm just going to close that because I don't need that right now. And then I have my ending one. We're going to put that in here. Okay, now we're going to make our modifications to this right here, so that way we can generate the last part. All right, let's see. So details are still going to be the magic chamber because he has to exit them and start walking. Actually, yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Okay, time period present. We have that. So Max, I'm going to take these out because they are not going to be there in the form they normally are. So I'm hesitant to add Mr. Elias just because it likes adding him in every chance it gets, but we're going to put him in here because I do need him for this scene once Max is back in the toy shop. Okay, so there we go. Plot points. With his friends freed, Max finds his way out of the... Oh, actually, with his friends freed and the curse broken, a new door emerges at the back of the magic chamber. A strange but welcoming white light emerges from under the door. Emerges from around the gaps in the door. White light emerges from the gaps in the door. I don't want to put around. From the gaps in the door. There we go. From the gaps in the door. Max uses the chamber. Uses the door. And as he steps through it, he finds himself back in Mr. Elias's shop. Just as Mr. Elias is entering. Alright. So here Max tells Mr. Elias everything that happens. And I know I have some of that down here in one of these. Let's go back over here because I just realized, or remembered rather, that in my C9 brief here, I actually have some of this in here. So for the sake of time, I can grab some of it. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to grab all this and I'm going to paste it in here. What the heck was I typing? Okay, I'm going to put this here and then. So we're going to delete this part. Okay. We'll put Mr. Elias is shocked to see Max there. So we have that. Okay, now narrative style is going to be the same. Since so dangerous, we're going to keep. So please continue chapter 9 with Max, or with a new door appearing in the magic chamber and Max entering it. Okay, so that's where we want it to continue from. And finding, I'm putting transporting 14 back into Mr. Elias's magic shop. Just as Mr. Elias is entering. Okay, so we're going to do that. Continue C9 with 2,000 words. So there we go there. Refresh our end slots again. And we're going to wait for that real quick. I'm going to get a drink while we do. Okay, here we go. Let's see how it starts for us. No. Oh, you know why? Because I haven't actually changed this to run it yet. That's why. Okay, so I want... Why did that not appear? Hold on. Let's see. I have my C9 brief right here. My Notion here. This should be C9 brief ending. Okay, so yeah, that's there. Ending. Type the word ending on it. It makes it easier for me to find like that. And now I'm going to refresh again. It makes it easier for me to find when I have it labeled for what it is. Otherwise, it gets a little confusing because there's so many slots. Okay, well, that's running. We're going to let it do that. After we do that, we're going to run this and hopefully it gets what I want. If not, we'll make a few more, a few more tweaks and we'll go from there. Okay, let's see. So it should be down here at the bottom. Yep, N36 now. Although that's not giving me much at all. Okay, it doesn't look like it's giving me even half of what I have in here, which is kind of odd. It's probably because of the numbers. Maybe the numbers are affecting it. Let's see. Yeah, because that's not going to work. I'm going to refresh one more time. If that doesn't work, I'm going to refresh my Notion as well, actually. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of information here. I am not sure why it is not showing them when I actually put my Notion slot in. So I'm going to just put this Notion slot in again. thank you very much. Death by Diva just did a donation. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in again now that I refresh everything. If that doesn't work, I'm going to clear the cache of Rexy. But we'll see what happens in a second. Okay, just waiting for that to finish. Because that was rather odd that I have all of this stuff in C9 and the ending, but it only gave me like part of it. I'm wondering if it's because of these numbers and everything. I'm going to get rid of these just in case. I'm just going to remove these in case, and that way if it hasn't worked the other way, we already have this one ready. Okay. I don't know why it wouldn't work now when it did before, but sometimes it just gets finicky. Wow, you are taking a long time. What is going on? I'm thinking there might be an issue right now with Rexy. So I'm gonna have to refresh this because it wouldn't do that. All right, so let's jump back in here. We are going to load our Magic Shop one again. Excuse me. Okay, that's loaded. I'm going to load my Notion slots in right here, and we're going to see if it all shows up now. I'm not sure if there's an issue on Notion's side or if there's an issue in Rexy at the moment. Sometimes these things happen. That's just part of technology. And then we're going to go ahead and wait for this to finish because it's still running. Okay, so now we have that. Let's make sure it took in our last Notion slot. Okay, that's interesting. It's not picking up any of the extra stuff I have in here, which is odd. I'm not sure why, actually. This is the first time I've actually encountered this. I'm going to make a new Notion page and try it there and see if maybe on the new page, maybe it's just some weird sort of glitch. We're going to say Chapter 9, ending brief, even though I typed 8. Okay. Why'd you give me that too? That's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this because I don't want that there. Okay, so C9 brief ending. Have everything there. So now that I've done that, I'm going to refresh this again. Hopefully on N37 we have a full C9 brief ending. Because I am not sure what the disconnect is there right now. But thankfully, if this doesn't work, we have an amazing person named Joseph who fixes this stuff like quickly. He's a genius. So if this doesn't work, I'll have to take this to him, and then we can continue this next week. But we will hope that this works. Next week, either way, I'm going to be taking some of this, and we're going to be using. I think I'm going to play in Rexy chat to kind of beef some of this up, and also play in Line Editor to beef some of this up, just to kind of show the two different ways it can be done. So that'll be next week regardless. Yeah, it does not. There's something in my Notion that is just screwing this up. And I'm not sure what it is because it wasn't like this before. So I'm going to just delete all of this stuff. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything that could be causing this myself. I mean, I'm no programmer, but I know how to spot certain things. I know what punctuation looks like and what things look like. I don't see any, there's no more bullet points, there's nothing like that, so I'm going to try this again. And we are going to cross our fingers that it works, and if it does not, then we will just, continue on. I'm trying to think of where I would want to take it if this isn't working. I guess I could take it into a ChatGPT. That would be a lot messier, but yeah, what the heck are you doing? I am going to have to message Joseph on this, is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to write myself a quick note. Message Joseph. Actually, not reading everything in an end slot. And thankfully, I have video evidence for him to watch. Not evidence, but like proof of what it's doing because we have this live, so that's good. All right, so that is not working. We are going to just, for the last few minutes, play in ChatGPT. Let's jump in there. It's going to be a lot of copying and pasting, but we are going to make it happen. I'm going to actually use this. Let's see, let's use straight ChatGPT. So we're going to put in here, we're going to take our system prompt. I want to kind of prime the pump a little bit. Take my system prompt. Do you understand your role? So I put the system prompt, you are writing a system, blah, blah, blah. And I'm asking it, do you understand your role? And I do that just to make sure that if it doesn't, I could just add some things to it. But he started to assist in crafting engaging, compelling YA suspense stories for brainstorming ideas. Perfect. Okay, so great. Please read. Let's see, what am I going to put in there? I'm going to put the character sheets. Following characters. The following character list. And a scene brief. And then continue the story. Continue C9. We're going to see how this works. So this one I'm going to just put in here characters. No, there we go. And then I'm going to come in here and grab all my characters. So there's Max. Okay. And then I want to grab the supporting character, which is Mr. Elias, which should be over here. Yep. No, that's not what I want to do. Go back. There we go. I want these right here. Toss this into ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm going to put a space there. Okay, so those are my characters that are in this scene. So I'm going to just close this out. Okay, and then next I want, what do I want next? Scene brief. I keep putting squigglies, curly brackets instead of the Tupperware containers. Okay, so now I want my scene brief down here. I could have just done it this way. It already has the thing in there. I don't even need to do it. So I'm just going to paste this over there. Okay, and then this is so much freaking information. Before I do anything, I'm going to copy this and then change it. I don't remember if it messes it up. Why can I not scroll? There we go. Okay. I don't know which chat I was using. We're going to see. This might be too much information. I didn't change it to 16, I don't think. Let me go back and do that. I'm going to copy all this first. And I'm going to paste it to the side. And then I'm going to attempt to go back up to the top, which it is not letting me do. I'm not sure what the heck's going on here. Click another one and go back in. There we go. I'm going to grab this. Okay. I'm going to go into, oh, I'm using 4. Yeah, let's just use 4. We're fine with what we have. Okay, so then I'm going to copy and paste this back in. Bear with me. I'm just highlighting everything I need for this. Let's see, where is it? There we go. Great. Please read. Okay, so I'm going to copy what I have here and just paste it back in. This is all the stuff I just pasted in. Okay. And then continue. Ah, no. Go back. After you have read all of the above, please continue scene 9 from where it left off. And then right here, I'm going to put scene 9. Will you please stop scrolling? This is so much information I'm tossing into it. We're going to see if this works or not. Because ideally, I would have been running this in Rexy, but Rexy's taking a nap. So we are going to just make do with what we have in here. And we're going to attempt this and see if it works or not. Because this is a lot of stuff I'm filling in. Scene 9. Okay. So I'm going to come up here because I have a feeling that... Yes, there we go. Okay. All right. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Here we go. There we go. Hit enter. And we're going to see if it can do it. Oh, okay. It actually... All right. It's taking its cue. Yay, ChatGPT-4. I don't know why I didn't use ChatGPT-4 in Rexy, but oh well. This way it's included in the monthly fee, so this is fine. Okay, so it gave us back, but as the light blue energy dissipated, something miraculous happened. The chamber began to transform, walls shimmering and shifting as if reality itself was being rewritten. Max, still clutching the remnants of Jackson's toy farm, watched in awe as a new door materialized at the back of the chamber. I like this. It was unlike any door he had ever seen, carved from what appeared to be living wood, with vines that pulsed with a gentle, inviting light. I like this a lot, actually. Okay, ChatGPT-4, you and me can play some more later. This is actually pretty good. Okay, without hesitation, drawn by an inexplicable pull, Max approached the door. He reached out, his fingers brushing against the warm wood, feeling it thrum with magic. With a deep breath, he pushed it open, and the blinding white light enveloped him. Enveloped, whichever way you say it. So this is actually pretty good, and it's still writing. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going to let it continue to write. Okay, so we're actually going to cut some of this end part out. I'm actually not even going to continue generating. It actually ran out of space, it looks like. So I'm just trying to find the exact spot. Okay, Jackson charged. Okay, we're just going to grab everything from there. We're Jackson charged. And we're going to toss it here to my scene. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to finish the sentence. As Jackson moved forward, Max and Mr. Elias threw their hands up in defense. And Max's shout filled the office. And then fade to black. So I will have to come in and look through all this and edit it and kind of figure out what it's doing, what it's not doing. And then next week, I'm actually going to either start, I think actually in FFA, I'm going to actually put a question in Discord and let people decide if they want to continue this and like add more details, beef it up, or if they want to start a new story. I'm not sure how many people are interested in just seeing it being used in line editor, beefing it up without anything new generating. So I'm going to leave that up to the people in FFA to decide which way we do it. But either way, next week we will either be continuing this or we will be starting a new project. I'm going to go ahead and come back. Yay! Hello again. Well, thank you all for joining me. Again, I'm Michelle with the Future Fiction Academy, the FFA. If you like what you see and you're interested in Rexy, you're interested in learning from myself as well as the others, Elizabeth, Stacy, Leland, Steph, excuse me, and now we have Ryan, who has joined us. Which yay, we're happy to have you, Ryan. So if you care to come and learn from us, please feel free to join the FFA. We'd love to have you. If you're curious about the FFA, there's a little banner down here with a little website address. Go there, check it out. I think you guys will find a lot of worth with it. We offer classes, hands-on classes. We offer Q&As. We offer project-based things where at the end of each project, you'll have a finished product. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. We keep up on the bleeding edge of the technology. So when something new comes out with AI, you're going to know about it, because if you don't learn about it yourself, you're going to hear it from us. So again, please join the FFA. We'd love to have you there. And also don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. All right. Day, everyone.